All right, so we're here pulling all the panels down so we can get to doing some work in here, doing some insulation and that kind of thing. And everything's been going fine so far. Not a whole lot to it, just screws. I know some of these trailers, they use these fast screws or whatever they call them, but they don't just unscrew. This is not one of them. It's just basically these regular Phillips screws, and I'm just pulling those out with a screwdriver. Get those out, and the trim piece goes here to cover up this gap between these two pieces. You know, honestly, I feel like these trailers are kind of hastily put together. It's not a lot of, I mean, I don't think they're really trying to make them pretty, which, hey, I'm sure they still work for what they intended to do, which is be cargo trailers, not be campers. So that is why they look like that. But you can see over here, there's a hole right here, and that's the actual cement of the driveway you can see down there. And I can move that over there so you can just kind of see there's a pretty legitimate gap here. And this is my first cargo trailer, so if you all are looking at this, like, what the heck? Of course they're like that. Yeah, well, actually I used to have one, but this is the first time I've ever tried to disassemble one. And then there's aluminum pieces that go across the V-nose, because it's a V-nose trailer. And these here have been, I'm not gonna say challenging, but I had to get a blade out so I could cut them out. So if you're looking at this here, after you unscrew it, there's still this silicone up here that's legitimately still holding it in place. So what I've just been doing is just cutting this out with a blade. All right, same thing with over here. Just cut that out, being careful not to cut oneself. Do that with the top and do it with the bottom here. And after that's done, it basically just pulls out. So that's about it. So that's it for right now. I'm going to remove the rest of these panels, and I've already kind of done this panel above the door here, and you can just see this is steel over here and it's not painted at all. I'm not going to say this is rust. Well, it is exactly the beginning of rust. So what I'm going to do before I put the panels or the insulation is going to go in these middle pieces here, or in these areas over here. What I'm going to do before I put that on is that I'm just going to get a rattle can, and I'm just going to kind of paint over this with Rust-Oleum Rust Stop or whatever, and that should take care of that, at least a little bit. All right, so I'll keep going. All right, so I've got the panels, well, most of them removed now, and that's the studs that's behind there. And up here in front, you can see some of the places where they've kind of missed the stud altogether here. So you got that nail sticking out of that. You got this one here at the bottom sticking out of that. And this one over here. So that's where the diamond plating is. That's where the diamond plating is up front. So I just have to go out there, back these out, and then screw them into the right place. I should take care of that. So I'll do that before I put these up. Right now I'm just going through these here with some alcohol wipes. There's some black stuff on it, probably just from the welding process and whatever else not. So just cleaning them off a little bit just so I can just hit them with a little bit of paint, because it looks like they're not even painted. So sooner or later I have to assume they're gonna start rusting. So I'll knock that out here real quick. Just not painting it per se, but just kind of splash it with some paint. It's got to be better than nothing. And over here you can also see the wiring is just kind of, you know, they just kind of put a hole on there and they drop the wire in there. Sooner or later over the years, just from rubbing back and forth, this is going to wear out this wire and it's going to short out. So I'll probably just try to wrap this up a little bit more, put a grommet in places like that. Places like this right here. I'm thinking this wiring is for the LEDs up front or on the roof. So same thing on this side. Some fancy wiring over here. So I'll probably just clean that up a little bit and wrap this to protect it a little bit more. And then same thing with up here. And what do we have back here? So same kind of situation. I mean, they didn't really care to fix that. You know, these are not, I'm assuming, made for the long haul. So I'll just grommet that up as well. Keep that clean. And over there you can see my foam board that I just picked up. This is going to go in the walls and the ceiling as well. So it's just the R5 1-inch thick, 4 foot by 8 foot length. And yeah, it's got a, yeah, we said that already, but the R value is 5, so that's pretty decent. You know, it's supposed to be waterproof and mold resistant and that kind of stuff. So but there's a view from over here. It's coming along. Just burning the midnight oil here. So I've got most, well, not most, I've got some insulation done here on the V-nose, and there's these sections here that I left where those panels go, those aluminum panels. And what I'm gonna do with that, I think I'm just gonna put like that Havelock wool and just kind of tuck it in there, because I've got a whole bunch of that from a different project. So that's what I'm gonna put in those gaps over there. And that should fix that, and then put the aluminum pieces back on there. And then the side is almost done. Still need to work on this side right here. That's coming up. But so far so good. And then I got to do the ceiling. So not quite done, but getting there slowly but surely. And got the part above the door done as well. And I think I'm gonna call it a night. I've got to wake up early anyway to knock out some other work. But for right now, I think this is good work for a few hours, and we'll pick it up tomorrow. Peace. All right, moving right along in here. So I got this taped up now and laid in there. And then in the corners here, I just had a bunch of Havelock wool that was left over from another project. So I'm gonna just stuff it in here, because the problem with this is that it doesn't bend. So this is gonna be my solution for that. I don't know if it's the perfect solution, but that's my solution. I'm gonna do the same thing with this V-nose section over here, and as well as this curved section over on this side. And this is just my bag of wool. So that's that there. And I just have I had quite some significant gaps down there. So I just put some of this I had some of this left over. Great stuff, big gap filler stuff. So basically, just kind of sprayed it in there. Just to see, here's another little gap in here. Put that in there. And then if need be, I'll just cut that off or putty or with a knife or something like that and get the rest of it off. But I figured that's got to be a little helpful. I also have a little bit, probably can't see very well on camera, but let me see here. Oh yeah, there you go. So you can see some daylight coming from underneath the trailer right there. And I know I'm gonna put insulation down in here and then another layer of flooring and then tile, vinyl flooring on top of that. So that shouldn't matter that much, but I'll probably have to look at this problem from underneath, because same thing with this corner, there was significant gaps over there. Let me see if we can, okay, so yeah, here's the side I haven't done yet. So pretty good gap. I mean, I can put my finger in there, and that's the driveway you see down there. So find some kind of solution from down there, perhaps. See if I can block it off just for critters and all that kind of stuff. I just prefer not to have the gap in there, so I'll have to look at that, see what I can do. Same thing with this V-nose section. You can see daylight in there. But that's it for right now. All right, so how effective exactly is R5 insulation, you may be asking, because you hear R5, but it's like, what does that really mean to me, right? So right now I've done a section of my trailer here, and when I touch this, it's actually hot, extremely hot, like I can't keep my hand on it. When I touch this, it's not that hot, but again, still not enough information for you, right? So we're gonna shoot it with a thermometer here and see exactly what we have. So the sun is shining from that side, and this is a black trailer. So we'll shoot this. All right, so 143, and we'll shoot that. 104, all right? Over here, 145. Over here, 105. So consistently, 145, 105. And then this is the V-nose section over here. Shoot that. So that's 121. So this section has an aluminum piece. I can't say aluminum. It's got an aluminum piece that goes on the outside. So the temperature there is slightly different. Same thing with this. This is actually an aluminum silver piece as opposed to the black piece that's on the rest of the trailer. So again, 103. But I also have, this has got some spray on paint, some overspray from treating the studs over here. So that's why that's black, but that's actually a silver piece over there. And this is the non-sun side, and 97, this is the side that's not facing the heat and where I've insulated. 98, so that's not in direct sunlight. So that is a good example right there of what you get with the R value. I'm gonna shoot it again just for fun here. So 145 still, and 106. But like I said, hot to the touch, absolutely hot to the touch, like it'll cook you. So the way I'm thinking is, okay, so this is 107, and I haven't even installed this yet, but 96. After I put the paneling on, I think that'll further reduce that 105 to, possibly in the 90s, like what you see here, 95. All right, actually, we're gonna shoot this as well over here. So like we said, 143, 144, actually gets hotter the further up we go. 145, and for the roof is actually cooler because it's not in direct sunlight, but 145 is the highest there. And then we come down here to the part that actually has a panel on it on that same side, and it's 110. So 147, 147 there, 110 there. So we'll test it again regardless after I have the panel on, and we'll see exactly what we get then. All right, stay tuned.